Hey everyone, welcome to Home Matters, the podcast where we help you make the most informed decisions for your home renovation and improvement projects. Whether you're swapping out windows, tackling a kitchen makeover, or getting a new roof, we've got the tips, the tricks, and the insights that you need. So let's get into today's topic. Spotting a shady contractor is hard to do. It's easy to read a blog post or talk to someone who's worked with contractors to tell you what those warning signs are. But the fact is, there are many red flags that you should look for when hiring a home improvement contractor. And by the way, there are many great contractors everywhere in America. No matter which town you go into, I've been in this industry for more than 20 years doing home improvement, and there are many great contractors who take lots of pride in not only the craft, the trade, but also the material and the finished product for you, the homeowner. And if you are a business owner, same thing, right? You hire a contractor to come in and improve your office space. You're hoping that everything goes smooth. But the fact is, there are so many touch points throughout that journey that can go wrong. And so these are necessarily not all 10 red flags. These are things that you should address up front so that you have the smoothest possible experience with the home improvement contractor. So let's go to number one. Number one is high pressure sales tactics. Run. If someone is telling you that you have to sign up by a certain date to get a certain discount, then it's not a good offer to begin with, right? And what I mean is, like, within a few weeks. Obviously, there are companies who are going to put out certain promotions that might last 30, 60, 90 days. And you're coming in on the back end of it. Maybe there's a little bit of time left over. However, as is the case with most companies, they understand that if they're going to show you that offer, they're not going to follow up with, well, you have to sign up today and make a payment tomorrow and install it by next week, right? Otherwise, they would just present you with what the full price looks like. So high pressure sales tactics, a big no-no. Upfront payment demands is number two. Anywhere between 30 to 50% of most home improvement projects are made up of the cost of materials. So it's reasonable if a contractor is asking you for 30 to 50% of the deposit up front so that they can pay for the material. However, I would prefer, and I always try to negotiate it down to 25%, right? So it's a half and half. I'm going to give you the business. Once you deliver the material, I'll give you 25% more. So now we're at 50%. And then once you're completely done with the job, only when you're 100% done will I pay you 100%. Number three, lack of physical address. Make sure that that business or sole proprietor lives in town. They're not just coming in from some other state and just driving by, doing some jobs, and then they're going to disappear. Because if they do a bad job, how are you going to hold them accountable, right? So you have to make sure that they're registered with the state. You've got to make sure that they have an address. How about contracts? The importance of a detailed written contract is I can't highlight how important that is for you. Verbal contracts mean nothing. At the end of the day, you want to make sure that you have the timelines, the costs, the scope of work, everything outlined in the contract, signed by both parties before they start the job. Okay. Unusual payment methods. So why you should be skeptical of contractors who only accept cash or request payments to individuals instead of a business. I would never do that. But I have experienced a contractor telling me that they only take cash and also saying, can you make the check out to someone else that they know? I'm not going to do that. So don't do that. Make sure you're paying to the order of the company. Use a credit card preferably so that you have that as a backup should the project go south. Unprofessional behavior. Well, yeah, absolutely. Signs like missing appointment, not returning calls, or bad communication in general, to me, is a big no-no, and I'll cancel a project. If it starts out on a bad footing, we're not going to be able to do business, and you shouldn't either. Changing the costs. Well, you really do need to be aware of asking the contractor to do additional work, changing, certain colors, certain details, and understand that often there's going to be what's called a change of order. And a change of order is not always documented, but when done through a professional company or professional contractor, they will tell you that, hey, before we add any material or labor, you're going to have to sign an addendum to the agreement that lays out what that scope of work is, what the change of the cost and the timeline. By adding a new room into the mix, by adding new materials, whatever the case is, there are many details across different projects that I can think of, but everything that you add is going to change the timeline and the cost. And that is important for you to get that in writing. No permits. Look, the importance of proper permits for the job and why you should be skeptical if the contractor discourages them. If you're comfortable doing it, that's fine. But understand that in certain municipalities around the US, if you don't have a permit to do certain jobs like a kitchen remodel, bathroom remodel, a roof repair, or actually a roof replacement, a new pool, there's lots of projects that you can't do, add on a bedroom to your property without registering at the county level and then making sure that the property appraiser adds that to your file. And so if a contractor tells you that you shouldn't take out a permit, you should be very wary, and also understand that one day if you go sell that home, you may be in violation. And I have seen it happen where someone put in an addition in the home and it didn't count. Then they had to go back, get a permit, and then knock it all down because it wasn't done properly with the proper electrical and plumbing and everything in between. So make sure if you're doing a job that requires a permit, that you get a permit. And then outdated or no insurance. I would never take on a contractor for any job, even a simple handyman job, let's say like a toilet repair. I would never hire someone to come into my home without showing me insurance, liability insurance, and whatever other insurance you feel you need. But make sure that it's active and it has the company name, and that if you need to go as far as asking the contractor to add your home to the insurance policy, which this happens a lot with HOAs around the country, where in order for the contractor to work in a certain community, they have to go to the insurance company and say, hey, insurance company, can you add this property because I'm going to do a project there. So this is not something that the contractor is going to look at you like, what's happening here? Why are you asking me for this? The insurance is really to make sure that you have the least amount of risk on your end. And there you have it. That was your 10 red flags on how to spot a shady contractor. I hope this helps you. Thanks for tuning in to the Home Matters podcast. Remember, a great home starts with making smart choices. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on a new episode. For more resources or to get in touch with a trusted local contractor, check out localcontractor.co. Until next time, take care and happy renovating.